What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the kind of World of Warcraft section of this. Today I just figured I would hop on and showcase this 10 Motherlode that I did this morning. I just hopped on. This is a bunch of pugs. Don't know any of these people. Just kind of queued up and it actually went surprisingly good. So this is just some stuff that I would want to keep in mind as a Guardian Druid tank. So I'm immediately kind of tagging those farm mobs with Moonfire, getting a thrash on all the close mobs. And then I pop pre-incarn and make sure that I have a heal ready. I do get topped up pretty quickly though. Get a nice in-cap roar to interrupt the ice spritzers and the toxic blades. And then I set my sights on this assassin because if you don't actually kick him, he will just recast toxic blades again. So we get an absolutely monstrous first pull here. Everyone in the group is absolutely blasting. And I tell them to lust off first pull just because you don't really need lust on first boss. So if you're a tank, just make sure that you are getting that toxic blades kicked. I'm a little bit late on the reaction time on this mech jockey, but that's okay. So, and then I'm like, okay, well, our group does a lot of damage, but we don't have cooldowns. None of these mobs are particularly dangerous. So you can just kind of get all of these in one little stack, pop my lunar beam and get all that stuff. And I just bark skin on the gather as usual. So Phantom Knives is going out. I definitely could have in-cap roared, but we end up typhooning there. Our group takes quite a bit of damage, but this healer actually MVPs it the entire time. And we do get knocked into these rowdy revelers that are actually beating the crap out of me. So, but we recover pretty nicely. The affix comes out, and that's super nice going into this next mob because he does do a ton of AoE damage, and that extra versatility that you get is kind of big. I was going to kick the Toxic Blades, but the assassin actually just dies. And we are sitting in a good spot. So since we don't have a rogue that I want to let go back into stealth, go ahead and chain this. The laborer and the addled thug are just going to die. And I know some people like to do these peacekeepers with some other stuff. I think if I was in a more coordinated group, I would probably do these with some other things. But with this charge shield doing so much damage, as you can see, every auto attack does, I don't know, 20%, 30% of people's health. I just like to do these kind of by themselves, in pugs especially. Just because, you know, the tear gas can get kind of messy, and then your DPS lose uptime, especially because we have 2 melee. The mage is going to be the only person that's going to be able to DPS this entire time. So we will quickly deal with this guy. Kind of skip ahead here just to make it just a touch faster. But as I mean, we're completely fine on time. This key is a pretty generous timer if you're just doing it safely and doing it well and getting a couple big pulls here and there. So you really don't need to worry about timing. We do end up 2-chesting this as well. Our DPS absolutely pop off this entire key. So gets a little bit messier towards the end, which you'll see. But thought this was still a pretty good run to showcase. And so now we don't have to worry about this pat in the middle. It frees up a ton of space for us to work. And I want to grab all of these. Again, bark skinning on pull to make sure that I live. I'm committing a frenzied regen just to make sure I'm topped off. And then we're setting our sights on that assassin again, kicking the toxic blade, making sure he gets right in here. And we should just be able to rock this pull. With 2 druids, the, what's it called? The mech jockeys should not be able to get anywhere close to the mech, so that's kind of our next target. The 2 mech jockeys, making sure that they don't get over to that mech and activate it. So, and I do have my kick up. I'm kind of just saving it for the assassin. He does get knocked up there. So, which apparently counts, and he does his Phantom Knives now, which is pretty cool. So, we got a couple Ursul's Vortexes down. Those mech jockeys are not going anywhere, and we'll just finish off these addled thugs before we go into the next pull. Use my little rocket pack. That thing is kind of goofy, but hey, it's effective. And I think just because our damage is really high in this key, and I have Incarn, I'm like, okay, let's just get all of this. Let's end it. This can be a bit sketchy, but I do insta-kick the assassin, the toxic blades, so we won't have to worry about that. And now we just have to worry about those ice spritzers, making sure people are not getting CC'd by those. The affix does come out as well. So going to lose a little bit of damage on some other things, but this versatility is going to make this charge shield much, much easier, give us a ton of survivability. And I'm just kiting into the boss room. I see people kind of kite away a lot of the time too. You have tons of space, and even if the boss was pulled at this point, I think we would honestly be fine. So going to finish off this pull completely though. make sure everything is fully dead, especially because that charge shield hurts so much. And we also get a beautiful darkness from the Demon Hunter, preventing some of that damage. As you can see, he heals for quite a bit on that pull. Yeah, so this boss, pretty easy. Nothing really that you need to know. I think if you've done this boss once, you've done it 100 times. A couple things that I do want to know. I'm just going to be kind of using my like Rage of the Sleeper and all that stuff as like offensive cooldowns. So I try and keep this. I always try and help out with bombs, but I try and keep the boss semi-still just so that Druid on the left-hand side can get his kick in. I know the Shaman is a little bit too far, so he's going to have to do 2 kicks regardless. So I move him, let him kick once, and then move and let him kick again. We have 6 stacks on the boss, so we know we got every single bomb. And this coin magnet, you can actually just stand in. It doesn't do anything. So you can just sit here as long as the boss is not near coins. Isn't going to do anything. And we get some good damage. And it's going to be exactly like that. Rinse and repeat. Make sure you get your 6 stacks. Do damage. No need to commit lust on this boss. It's really just not necessary. So we'll skip ahead here to when the boss is dying. Just kind of kiting him around the side of the room, making sure that he doesn't suck up too many of those coins. Foot bomb launcher comes out, and as a tank, you can just kind of drag the boss right on top of him and just right click him. And there you can see I get 2 stacks on the boss, drag him right to the exit. And this is where we run into our first issue of the dungeon. These mobs definitely cause Pugs some grief. These Azurite extractors are absolutely a pain in the ass, just to be honest, you know. So pop Incarn, just trying to get this mob dead as soon as humanly possible. Again, we have very good damage, so a lot of these things will just die. But a couple people will get like stuck here. I don't really know where I'm going here. I can survive 1 hit for this, but I don't know how I didn't get hit there. But I believe those circles do spawn on you. So if you don't panic, if you stack up, you can control those significantly better than just everyone spreading out, basically creating a pattern where nobody can even go anywhere. So, but the first one goes okay. It gets a little bit messy. We lose somebody, and I'm just making sure I can get this Stone Fury in because the Stone Furies don't really do a whole lot. The only thing that you need to interrupt is really the Quake. If they get that barrier off, it's not the worst thing ever, too. It's just some extra damage, which we have an excess of in this key. So I'm trying to drop this, and we definitely lose a couple people here. We still have 2 DPS alive, and, you know, that sort of thing. I could have helped out with Nature's Vigil, probably, but I was just kind of late on the draw on that one. And the affix is going to go off as well, so the mobs are going to take some less damage. And it's right here that I'm like, I don't know if I should, like, I don't know. So, but everyone ends up getting back. Our Demon Hunter ends up going down, though. Furious Quake goes off, I believe. So definitely pretty scuffed, but it's to be expected at this part, especially with Pugs. You don't have any coordinated kicks. There's some extra damage going off, and then we get a weird Typhoon off the side over here. Thankfully, the mobs are almost dead, and, you know, we have tons of space to work with, especially with this extractor. So I try not to move too much. I try and drop the circles like on top of each other, or at least Venn diagram it just a little bit, as you can see there. Helps just preserve some more space that we desperately need when we're fighting these mobs. So let's go ahead a little bit. I don't like to do these Stone Furies with the pack up top, so we get the affix to spawn, and we'll just kill it with Stone Furies, get a nice 3-pack. No reason to rush this part. That's exactly how you brick keys or lose time or make it a little bit tight at the end. So no need to do that. We're just going to focus these down. Mage is absolutely blasting, so they go down no problem. And this mob, I actually didn't know that you could soothe. I haven't done this dungeon a whole lot on Guardian Druid. I've done it on Prot Paladin mostly. So, you know, I end up taking quite a few stacks here. I'm also kind of limit testing just to see how many stacks I can take from this boss, the mini boss. But I think I end up getting up to 11 here, and then I'm like, okay, this is hurting just a little more than I want it to. So I, you know, use both charges of Frenzied Regen to pop Bark Skin to just reduce the total damage I take. Get out of the massive slam, and he resets the stacks on me. I can go back in confidently. And I see the Enrage come out here too, and he's absolutely beating the crap out of me, so I just click my Soothe there. make that a bit easier. And then I pop my bomb suit just to absorb all this damage, let my stacks fall off while he's doing his circular ability, and we get a beautiful affix spawn here going into the second boss. So we'll have that extra versatility when we pop Lust. This is the perfect timing too that you want. So you want to be able to do first pull and then get here in before Lust is back up. So if you're able to Lust on pull on this boss, you are sitting in a good spot. That's it's kind of how I've usually measured success. So trying to drag the boss on top of this infused Earth Rager. I'm not super worried about him hitting me at all. I can take probably, 4 to 5 stacks of this bleed before I get just a little bit uncomfortable. I have all my defensive cooldowns that I haven't needed to use yet, so not super worried. My main concern is just making sure that this Demon Hunter and the Enhanced Shaman can go absolutely feral on this boss. So making sure that we get these Earth Ragers down, and we take him out pretty quickly. We get the boss to about 50% health before Lust expires, almost 50% health. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but hey, it's okay. And then again, we are just trying to see this ranged Earth Rager, make sure everything else is kept on it, because I have control over 2 of these mobs. I don't have control over the third one that is chasing the mage. He goes over past the earthquake thing right there, so I'm just like, we'll give it up. And once he circles back around, we could stack the boss on this again, get some good cleave on this Earth Rager. And I just alternate targets just because I kind of want to get this thing dead too. Most of my damage is going to be just cleave, kind of AoE anyway, but any little bit helps. So we really need to get this affix dead. It's living forever. And we're dragging this over here, once again trying to stay on that Earth Rager that is fixating a ranged player, because I am not worried about taking these bleed stacks. I can just kind of stand wherever I want. On hierarchies, probably not a good idea, but on a 10, I'm pretty confident. I have 5 stacks of the bleed. As you can see, my health is high the entire time, so not going to be too concerning here. This Resonant Quake should tickle, and there we go. Getting right on into it. And this is the spot of the key where I see a lot of people also have issues. These transmutes, you just want to make sure that you don't pull too many alchemists. If you have like a Vengeance Demon Hunter that can silence, AoE silence, that can definitely help here. But I like to do these first 2 packs with this Mastermind. Unfortunately, he's in a bit of a weird spot, and I end up getting hit in the back quite a bit there. But not a huge deal. I just pop my renewal, get a nice chunky heal there. And Rage of the Sleeper, so I'm healing a little bit. Get some good leech. And we absolutely demolished the Alchemists here. I try and move just a bit away from those tornadoes just to make sure that the melee DPS don't get clipped by those as much as possible. My first move is a bit weird, but then I kind of correct and go over to this side over here. And now we're just going to wait for this Mastermind to die. I don't know. I could definitely be more reckless here, but with Pugs, I just want to make sure that the affix dies, that the primary target dies. And I know this gathers a little bit of a weird angle, so I just pop Survival Instincts, need that bigger, kind of beefier defensive cooldown. A couple of these transmutes go off here, I think, at some point, so I use my Incap Roar. We use the other Druid Incap Roar. Shaman Totem, and then a couple of them go off here. Luckily, I think they're able to get dispelled. Mage is able to get out, and we can keep on rolling. And we're just going to do some big damage here. I just pop Nature's Vigil to try and help out with some healing. And this pull should just go down pretty quickly. These alchemists eventually stop spam casting, and they'll just end up dying here. So not too mad about that pull. Went about as good as it can. And this pull, the 2 weapons testers don't really do anything. So I'm not really worried about any of the weapons testers. It's basically just 2 alchemists and the masterminds with the tornadoes. So as long as you can heal through the mind lashes and not step in tornadoes, you're kind of fine. There's really only 2 kicks in this pull that you need to be aware of. So we're going to just be focusing the kicks on the alchemists, and that's really all you need to worry about aside from dodging stuff on the ground. So a little bit of a scuffed pull just because there's a ton of tornadoes on the ground. Our Demon Hunter drops pretty low there. And I get a nice little lag spike right in the middle of this pull, but it's okay. And as you can see, not struggling at all to keep myself up. I could be using Maul more in my rotation. I just like to use Iron Fur more than anything. It just helps. Like, if my healer can feel confident that I can keep myself alive, I think that is worth infinitely more than trying to just parse and do damage or whatever. And as you can see, I'm doing plenty of damage anyway. There's no real need for me to do any extra, especially because we have 16 minutes left in this key and not a lot to go. And we pull Rixa, and you want to kind of stand in the middle here. We see that it goes to that right-hand side. All the stuff is going to be over there. It'll expand, so you want to drag her more to this corner. And the Azurite Catalyst goes on the healer. Does a good job of stacking it in stuff that's already there, so we don't lose too much space. Drag her just a little bit towards the corner, making sure that the melee DPS have a little avenue to stand between the pools and the boss. And as a melee, if she puts that propellant blast on you, you can still be in melee. You don't. I've seen a lot of melee just run out towards the stuff on the ground. You don't need to be anywhere near it, so you can just still keep hitting the boss. As you can see, the Demon Hunter here, nothing is even close to him, but that propellant blast reaches well behind him, and we clear out the whole room. Very, very clean. I should have brought the boss to the middle here. So I'm a little bit late on the draw, but the Druid luckily uses Roar, and we're able to get over here. But after that third propellant blast, you definitely want to move the boss towards the middle of the room so that when she puts out the fresh stuff on the ground, you are in a good spot to run to wherever that is. So we're going to kind of rinse and repeat here. Demon Hunter gets it the first time, pushing back all of that goop. And this boss is super easy as a tank. You just kind of sit here and you hit her and do no damage. And that's what it is. So the Druid goes back farther than he needs to. It doesn't really matter in his case. Everyone's fully, like, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so easy boss. I see a lot of people struggle on that or just lose deep melee DPS uptime. So in this section of the dungeon, I know there's better ways to do this, but at least in Pugs, I just like to pop these mines when I think it's convenient. So we get these mines. I know everyone's got some damage under their belt. Demon Hunter is absolutely blasting this pull. So I just pull everything, pop a couple mines. I know these are going to get lost in the crossfire. These mines are just going to go down super quickly. So get all those popped, clear a little bit of space. The affix is popped. I make sure I have aggro on it. Everything's chasing me. I pop 2 more mines so that we can keep getting cleave damage on these. Luckily, we get some good fixates here. So one focuses on the mage, and I think one focuses on the shaman, and one focuses on the druid. Shaman is able to get some damage in. Druid is in Narnia, so he's not really in danger of dying. And I'll go through. I'll pop that one on the left, pop this one on the right, grab the ordnance specialist, and again, we're going to just get these mines cleaved down. With these, mage getting some nice roots on those as well. So right here, I see the ordnance go out in the back over there, all those orange circles on the ground. So I'll wait for this charge shot to be mostly done, and then I'll pop this mine that's sitting right behind me. And we get another nice fixate. It's on the shaman there, I think, actually. So he has the capability of doing some more ranged damage or a couple casts or whatever. And right here, we don't have anything else to do really. So I just want to pop all of these mines, but definitely do it before I get into these machines. So these mines only have 13 million health. They should not take too long to kill. We're not wasting that much time. I think it's better to do this safely, especially in pug groups. So kill those really quickly. As soon as they die, I try and make sure that the Void Emissary gets aggro on me. Pop Rage of the Sleeper, just so that I can gather these some more effectively. And again, beautiful affix timing. So we're going to have the versatility buff for this charge shot going out. 20% verse makes this thing tickle. Druid is able to keep us up very, very easily with that going on. I think I also ping the one that we want to be killing. It's always good to kill one of these and not the other. Or you could be like us and kill them both at the exact same time, and it's all good. So, yeah, nothing too crazy about these mobs. They go down without a hitch. And as you can see, we're done with forces. We have one boss left, and we have 12 minutes left on the clock. I just type safe spot here just to let people know. You can stand on this little vent right here, kind of right in the corner, and you will be safe from all of the mini missiles that come out. The people always still have to run out this homing missile, so the mage has to blink away, get that homing missile out of the group. But as you'll see here, if you're standing right where I am, or right where we are, even if the missiles come in on this side, they don't actually ever hit this spot, no matter where they are. And we get a nice, like, kind of mechanic, what do you want to call it, chain here. So sometimes the missiles can come out with that Gatling gun, which can make it a bit more challenging to dodge. But we go back to the safe spot. We know he's not going to do Gatling gun for a little bit. We'll have that person run out with the missile, and we should get another thing of mini missiles here. And again, be in a safe spot, not need to move at all. Easy freaking peasy. Gatling gun comes in right after. We know that we're not going to have to dodge any of those flame circles on the ground. So sometimes it just works out like this, where you get the perfect storm of mechanics that you don't need to do anything for, and you're just absolutely chilling here. So try and get a dot on the Sky Scorcher. Can't find the second one there, which is a bit awkward. And making sure that I am near enough to these pillars in case I get fixated. And there we go. So I have Drill Smash, so I'm close enough to the pillar where I can go here. I see the boss show up in the top part of my screen there. And then I run over to another one. We've already killed the ads, so this phase really does nothing. He gets the smash, so I just run over to this other one. Want to be where I want to be when the next one comes out. And yeah, we'll get that third smash, and we're right next to the safe spot where we need to be anyway. So love to see that. Call for Lust, just in case he forgot. I see a lot of mages do forget, so I don't know. It's possible. But yeah, we're just going to stand on the safe spot again. We have Lust going, and this gets a bit messy, I think, too. We lose some people here. I think the mage actually gets just demolished here by something. Gatling gun comes out, and this is where it can get a little messy, right? So you see the mini missiles here with the Gatling gun. The dodging becomes slightly more challenging. We lose 2 people. We'll res the Demon Hunter, go back to the safe spot. The missile comes out as well. So that's kind of the worst overlap that you would see in this key. But, you know, everything else should be okay. For the most part, this safe spot will save you a lot of deaths. So, yeah, we finished this key with just over 9 minutes left on the clock. We're just going to kill this last little non-elite. I end up getting 2 pieces of loot. We 2-chest it. Easy peasy. So I'll try and make more videos like this. If you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment what you guys want to see next, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.